What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough of Scarborough Town Centre, also known as STC. For many people who reside in Scarborough, this is the mall that they gravitate towards. This mall is at the center of Scarborough Centre. It is at the center, it is in the heart of Scarborough. It is quite a popular mall in Scarborough. So I'm going to start off by walking this way. I'm going to turn on this corridor right here. This mall has a bright interior for the most part, as you can see. It comes in 2 levels. There are many stores that spans both floors. It has always been a good mall though. It's also been a mall of many people's childhood, especially for those who live in Scarborough or lived in Markham, which is technically like next to Scarborough. The way that this mall is laid out though is that it is designed in a loop though. You can see that over here is one of the entrances. The reason why like many people like favor this mall is because the stores in this mall though it has a pretty fair balance of stores though, like stores that cater to people of like mid-income and low income. It is more like it has a mix of like different stores though that caters to people of different needs, you know. I'm gonna turn this way. I'm gonna keep walking. This is not gonna be a very confusing mall to walk because it is designed in a loop though. Also, I like the air conditioning in this mall. It is quite a hot day today, so it was a good choice for me to walk in the mall. Pretty good place to walk, even if you're not shopping though, but you just want to come here for a casual hangout. It is a good place. This mall is also anchored by Walmart. It is decent sized Walmart because this is one of the few Walmarts that is on 2 floors. If I go to the lower floor of this mall, the Walmart also has a lower floor as well. So it's one of those few Walmarts that are like old school. Because you see that like many newer Walmarts that are built nowadays though, it is often in an individual store. The Walmart is in its own box though, and it's in a single floor. So it's kind of rare to see like any Walmarts that are more than like 1 floor. There's another entrance and exit this way. There are a lot of nice stores right here. As you can see that on my right side, there used to be a large anchored department store, but it is gone though. So right now, I am kind of like excited to see what other retailers will take over like those vacant spaces, the spaces that used to be like occupied by anchored department stores, like these ones. But I think that a lot of malls, they're looking for like smaller retailers. Maybe they're looking to divide those like spaces into like smaller retailers, multiple smaller units or retailers instead of just one big department store. I do like malls that have this type of layout though, because like say that you're walking around the loop looking for a specific store, right? And then you forgot where the store was. And there's no need to like walk all the way back to the other end, because you could just walk around the loop though, either clockwise or counterclockwise. Which is what makes the mall great though. There's other malls that are not even in a loop though. It's like very long, you can only go from one side to the other. But you have to go from one end to the other, but this mall is at least built in a loop. It is not fully a loop though, because if I head to that area over there, close to where the food court is, That part is not in a loop. I'm going to be heading towards the area where the Taste Market is. In other words, the Taste Market is the name of the STC food court. I think it's a pretty cool name. And I think it does deserve the name Taste Market because the STC does have one of the bigger food courts. It has like a really like, what do you call it? The food court has like numerous different options. Like you do see some generic food vendors though, but then you also see like other food vendors though that are usually like not as common though. Before I head downstairs to the food court though, which is on my right, I am first gonna walk straight and take a look at this entrance. I mean this corridor right over here. I think this corridor here is also like very cool. I noticed that there's a change in the floor tiles. I think that in the past, STC used to have more of these types of floor tiles though, but that's just my guess. Because now the floor tiles look a little bit more retro. If they decided to renovate the mall back then though, I guess they decided to like preserve these floor tiles right here. Most of the mall I was walking in, they used like more modern floor tiles. But in these ones, like this type of floor tile is like a bit older. I mean, I think those floor tiles in the mall are just pretty average. I wouldn't say that they're so nice, or they're so bad, or they're so dated, but they're just average. And if I turn to my right side though, there used to be an entrance right to the Cineplex, in the indoor mall entrance, but they decided to wall that off. So that, for people that want to watch like movies, moviegoers, they would have to like enter Cineplex from a separate entrance. So I'm gonna turn back. I'm gonna turn this way. I'm eventually gonna like head to the food court level. It is pretty cool to see a mall like 2 floors to be like pretty decent size, you know? I can see why this is the mall that like many people in Scarborough like gravitate towards. Not just Scarborough residents, but even people like who reside in Markham or reside in parts of Toronto that is close to Scarborough. I see maybe some people in Pickering too. They may really be a fan of this mall. Now I'm gonna head down to the food court. It is a food court with many options. You can see that like the places where people can order food though, like there is plenty full of options. You see a mix of generic food vendors, but then you also see some more like some food vendors that are not so common, you know? It's pretty much the food court. And then this is the other side of the food court. It's very cool. It is a pretty decent sized food court, I would say. I would say that for this type of mall though, like this food court is actually the perfect size. It fits this mall pretty well. I am now going to walk through the lower floor of the mall. I'm going to start off by walking this way, so I'm going to start off by going right. This here is a very nice atrium. It is a pretty spacious atrium because sometimes if festivals or indoor events were to happen though, they can occupy the space. It is something I've seen before. It has a really nice ceiling, a lot of natural light coming in. So now I'm just gonna keep walking this way.
That's what we go out with.
There also used to be another anchor tenant that occupied this lower space. I think it was IKEA. But it's sad to see that IKEA has left the mall. It was really a nice store to look at, honestly. Also because IKEA was known for their it was known for their cafeteria though, and it was known for the meatballs. I think I really enjoyed their meatballs, but it's sad to see them depart from STC, you know. It is just sad to see certain tenants leave the mall, especially if it's a popular one. Over here is another entrance and exit for the mall. And then this is the lower level of Walmart. The Walmart in this mall is 2 floors. This mall is pretty much a loop though on both floors. Most of the mall is a loop. But it's just that the layout is a little bit different. So depending which floor you're on though, I think that I think the second floor though, where the Cineplex entrance is, maybe the second floor has more space. I'm not sure about that. But it is mostly the same. It's just very similar, you know. At this point, I'm not sure if I should call it a semi-loop or a full-on loop. Well, if this mall was just a partial loop though, then I would have called it a semi-loop. But it is a full loop. I'm pretty much walking 2 whole loops of the mall. I'm close to walking 2 whole loops. One for the second floor that I was on though, and then right now I'm doing so for the main floor. I'm almost finishing the loop on the first floor. Now if I walk this way, it just loops back to that atrium. The atrium which is near the food court. That's another entrance and exit right there. This mall has a good number of entrances and exits, so it's a pretty accessible mall. Very cool to look at, right? And it just leads back to the atrium. See, this part leads back to the atrium. And that shows that it's not a very big mall, as you can see. But there is one more corridor that I'm gonna walk. And this leads to another entrance and exit. But however, it's nice that they have a dollar store right here. For all the budget conscious shoppers, there's a dollar store. Well, technically, most people like the dollar store. Well, because most people like the dollar store because who doesn't want to save, right? There's a lot of decent things you can get from the dollar store. So I would say though, like that's pretty much it for the mall. It is a decent sized mall, but it's not a very big mall. But it is perceived as big for people who live in Scarborough. But I say that for people who grew up in this area though, or has been going to this mall since their childhood though, they might think this mall is like a bit smaller. So I think that I walked through the whole mall. So I would like to say thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough of the mall. Please subscribe to my channel.